Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. And we got to do this recap of Ready to Love Season 6, Episode 14. This is the reunion part 2 for the Potomac season. And yeah, it was crazy. We see more people get called out. Looking like Tommy was sitting there, maybe enjoying the drama a little bit too much. And then it kind of left us with a lot of questions about all of this madness that was actually going on. So, before we unpack all of this, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash the like button and drop a comment down in the comment section below. So, without further ado, let's talk about this drama. So, we did have some folks that ended without drama. So I might as well start with that part there. And we kind of talking about Demetrius, Sabrina, Tina, Dekai, and Paul. Now, despite how things ended for Demetrius's connections with Sabrina and even Tina, all parties seem to be pretty cool with each other, or at least with one another at this point. Now, none of them are talking in, I guess, a romantic way at all, but they're cool. And I guess the same thing can be said about Dekia and Paul. Dekia, I'm sorry, Dekia and Paul. However, they aren't dating and just pretty much social media friends at this point. But there's no ill will, right? However, there was some stuff that kind of blew up on stage. And where do we begin? So, despite all of the drama, it seems that Carmen was the central part of. Carmen ends up barely having to defend herself. Now, whether it was the drama Precious found herself in the middle of with Laverne, or even she had this beef with Dekia, she seemingly noted how everyone else was, coming out of the pocket and pretty much saying, "Not me, not I." So, I mean, it seems like, she didn't really get any, for some folks, they thought that she got off a little easy despite, people were saying the shady things that she was talking about in her confessionals or even at that whole brunch situation. And, here's the thing. I watch these guys off camera. They have their own social medias on IG, and there's a lot of things that are coming out slowly but surely. A lot of them were talking about it this week, and it's pretty darn interesting about, the phones and the mics and the cameras and the editing. So you just, I'm just going to leave it right there. But from what we saw all of the confessionals and things like that. Now, Paul gets called out by Tina for wanting to have self eliminate together. And she claimed that he came on the show just to raise his profile for a future book plan he planned to release. And with Precious, she goes in on Demetrius and thinks that he messed up her reputation over one bad date, as if he was the one that poisoned the well and made it so she, like Tina, considerably, as they thought, wasted their time. What? The drama does not end there. So then that whole thing with Wiley, calling out Keena from early in the season for checking out his IG stories. And I'm like, what? Now, this leads to the two having a small kind of back and forth over him painting the idea that she has an interest in him, which seemingly, might be part of him, I don't know, saving face since she kind of curved him and was the first of many of the women to make his age an issue of it all. Now, the one who really that we saw really was a lot of people had saw a different side of was Joy. Now, I'm definitely still a fan of Clifton and Joy. I mean, I'm always about love and romance, but we did see a different side of Joy. Tommy almost did when Tina made it clear that she didn't give pretty much didn't give a damn about wasting any of the men's time, including his. But Joy, she went off on Dakia for apparently not taking the hint when it came to her and Clifton. But I thought we happened to see clips of, Clifton entertaining Dakia, and maybe that's why she had the reason to think she was still in the running. I don't know. I did see those different clips. So unless I'm missing something, yeah, that whole thing was unusual. But after that whole thing, and because it was pretty much, these things are a long night. The Kia barely engaged. What we saw is people came to the reunion less so far for resolution, but it looked like it was more because they wanted to tell somebody off in person. A few of them, not all. Now there were some folks who did have some connections, and as we saw with the whole thing with Wiley and Tiffany, they seemingly kind of picked up where they left off, and she even hinted about trusting her eggs with Wiley. And I found that pretty interesting. I went to check their IGs, and they are no longer, they're not following each other. So I think the reunion was recorded maybe back in January or February. So it's now May. So if something has happened between then, it's probably going to come out. But they are definitely not following each other on IG. I don't see any pictures of them together. So whatever they had, I'm assuming, I'm not saying it's a fact, but maybe it didn't work out. And then we also saw Donovan and Carmen. They're comfortable and seemingly learning to keep calm. They definitely knew that this wasn't the moment to go there. They were pretty much calm throughout this whole thing, despite all the drama revealed that, from what we saw got them to this point. Lastly, when it came to Joy and Clifton, they're in pretty much bliss. They're in heaven in their relationship. Clifton every other weekend is going down to Mexico to see Joy. And actually, I did post a video on my TikTok where she was actually singing live at a small concert down in Mexico, and he was right there filming it. So there's definitely the proof that he's been doing what he said he has been doing. And she has come, to the point of not just loving him. Girlfriend wants her baby by March with him. I'm here for it. Like I say, hey, people might not like what happened in this one episode because I saw a lot of folks that's like, oh, I'm not feeling these two. Listen, that's TV. I want to see what happens from this point forward. So that's just my opinion. Um, and then we see him get on his knee and present him because everybody thought he was coming out with an engagement ring. He proposed to her a key to his home. So giving her a key to his house, yeah, that's a major milestone. Now, like I said, it's not the marriage proposal that we thought we might have gotten. But I would say out of the seasons that we've seen in the past, this is the biggest commitment so far. Um, the only other thing that, really turned off a lot of folks to with especially with Joy is the whole conversation that she had with the Kia. All of the accusations came out. Wiley called out Keena and Joy. I mean, I liked her attitude from what we saw. And I even like what I see outside of the show because I follow all of them. They've been doing a bunch of lives. But from what we saw in this particular episode, they made it look like she did a 180. And she looked like two different people. And that's the interesting thing. It's interesting how people can see a string of great things and one thing happened and they automatically say, okay, I'm done. No, I need to see more. If I see it's one thing to have a moment in time where something go left. Now, if they have a consistent pattern of that behavior, then yeah, I'm gonna be like, well, maybe this ain't the person I thought this was, right? But one jump off situation that we saw on the show, and remember, there's a lot of stuff going on. These people record for 10 to 12 hours on these different things. Who knows? I've seen what I've seen with these two off camera, and they're absolutely adorable. I like how they interact with the other cast members, and the lives and stuff that they do. So, I'm not just going to write them off just by what I saw in this episode. I need to see a pattern. If I saw a pattern of Joy doing what we saw, then I'll be like, yeah, well, maybe. But yeah, I'm not gonna write the both of them off just because of this one episode. I think that's really, really unforgiving. And social media, look, you can do what you want to do. It's your choice, but I need to see, people in their own element and see if this is something that happens consistently with them. So that's just my thought. But yeah, a lot of people wasn't happy. Um, the whole thing with the Kia situation, especially when, like I said, we saw the episodes where Clifton was, trying to get to know her, and that's part of the process. But I guess the conversation was you knew from jump that you weren't in the running. I don't know about that because again of what we've been seeing, but it is what it is at this point because Clifton made his choice. His choice was her, and for that man to take that trip down to Mexico and I'm assuming they live in the DMV area, to go down there every 2 weeks since the end of the season, which ended back in, I think, November. Yeah, I have no problems with that. He is putting in effort, and she is definitely there. I mean, she want to have this man's baby. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the both of them can do, after the season. Um, Now, here's my other question is they didn't address how Tiffany left the show and did a whole, they, as people were saying, I thought she was absolutely adorable. I like her hairstyle. I used to wear that kind of hairstyle back in the 90s for those ladies who know what I'm talking about. But they never addressed how she left the show. I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, and then the whole thing with Precious, oh my God, that thing went way, way left, with her being upset about the fact that she was going off with Demetrius. I mean, it went back and forth. And then he said, what's wrong with you? Are you high? And that just sent her to a whole nother level. People wasn't happy about the fact that Tommy didn't say anything to Eric when he when he said something to the Kia. But when I think Precious was calling him all kind of bees and stuff like that, Tommy was trying to tell her she need to, tone it down. So either way, both of them. I mean, he didn't have to curse when he said, I apologize. I've already apologized. At the same time, that whole thing with Precious went off the rails. I mean, seriously. So, I mean, I'm wondering, what are they going to do? I mean, the thing is, we supposed to be having representation of black love, and it just seems to me that you got two couples out of this season. You had four couples out of last season. I know a couple of them didn't stay together. Two of them are still together. I mean, why not promote that versus the drama, the arguing, the yelling, the lashing out, the cursing? Focus on the fact that you got two couples out of this. Is supposed to represent the show. I know people like drama, but my goodness, and some people was like Tommy was being really passive. It was like whether or not he wanted the drama to go on, but I honestly think that the producers want the drama to go on. So they're gonna not have Tommy say, "Hey, stop talking," because that means not a lot of dramatic content, right? So, anywho, that is the end of the season. What do you guys think about season 6 of Ready to Love Potomac? The next season is Miami. They haven't announced when that is. I'll definitely keep you guys up to date with the new cast members, who they are, as we can get to know them, and also get ready for that season. So let me know. There's other channels. There's a new dating show coming out, I think, on it might be Bravo, where these matchmakers are matching up. Matchmakers Atlanta, I think is what it's called. So I might do the review for that, and I'm going to continue to do the reunion. I mean, the decision day for Meredith Forsyth is coming up in Boston. So we still got a lot of content to talk about for all of you fans to enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed this final episode of season 6, Ready to Love Potomac. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.